Our first guest this week is Mr. Leonard Armenta. He's the president of a company called GenTech Holdings Incorporated. GTEH is the stock symbol. Leonard, great to have you back on the show.
Great to be here again.
So I saw you renaming the company to Physique Nutra Incorporated. How's that going to change your focus?
Yeah, so it's definitely something we're doing. I think the biggest difference will be that we'll focus on the brand more than any other. We'll still have, our pills and powders. So the Nutra side, hence the Physique Nutra. So we're definitely a pill and powder business as well with our American Metabolics and our Storm lifestyles. We'll still have those products really pushing out there. But Physique basically labels us more of a serious player in the industry and in the space for beverage. So when people see us and they look us up, they see that we have physique and that we are physique. Beverage is massive right now. So basically over the past year, we've basically found for us what has worked, what hasn't worked. Just for example, the functional food business, a couple years ago was going crazy and it is going crazy still, but it's the amount of competition in that space is really grown. So between the cost of, shipping, the weights of the foods, the functional foods and the liquids and different things like that, and then the fact that it's not really high margin product, it has really made us kind of turn a lot of our attention and focus to the pills and powders and really to physique. And so our pill and powder business is super strong. Physique is still growing. We just felt that it was a good move for us as a company.
Well, I really like the name change. I like the new name. It's more in keeping with what you're doing, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that was the idea is I think a lot of people would see GenTech Holdings and then they would look it up and they were like, wait, what does this have to do with a drink called Physique or a pill and powder? So now this will really put us more in that avenue where people actually know what and who we are.
I know as part of that filing, you filed for a reverse split with your name change. Are you getting some blowback from shareholders on that one?
Yeah, absolutely. We did expect that. It was something that we knew that was going to happen. But as everybody knows right now, the market's tough. We would announce some huge partnerships with us or some fantastic wins for the brand. Like, for instance, Muscle and Strength, which is one of the biggest players in the online community. We're a top 10 brand within a couple months there. And the needle never even moved for us. It just basically, sometimes we put news out and it seemed like, things would go down sometimes. So the market's just been really tough. And so we basically said, you know what, we need to take some radical action, show, that we really want to get the float down, the price up. And as you know, and as everybody knows, is that when you're sub pennies like we are, that as a shareholder, you could literally lose half of your position in an hour. So our thinking is if we can get this up to that 5 cent mark, we'll really protect our shareholder value and it'll be just substantially easier for us to do that. And then we'll be also just from a standpoint of, different types of shareholders and things like that, we'll definitely be taken more as a serious player out there with the, in the game. So just with the market being tough, it just made really, really good sense for us.
So now basically you got to play the FINRA waiting game.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. But, we're still pushing hard. We're still out there closing new business, still trying to, drive revenues hard for the company. So it doesn't really change what we're doing here on this side. But what the idea is that, we want to offer our shareholders more value.
Well, you mentioned some big wins. It's been a while since you updated us on that. Can you talk us through the brands and where the success stories are?
Absolutely. I'll start with Physique since that's kind of the one we've been talking about here. We were actually just accepted and we're just finishing up the contract work with Giant Stores. So Giant is a large grocery chain out there. And so we basically, they've now given us the verbal commitment that they're going to purchase all 4 SKUs. So all 4 flavors, bring it into all their stores. And so now we're just working out the contract details to get that finalized so that we make sure we get the best placement possible so that we can get the best sell through. We've really increased our international distribution. We're in places, we're now in Canada, we're in Trinidad, Tobago, Dubai, Aruba, Kuwait. So we're really expanding Physique's footprint, not just in the US, but worldwide. We're also working on a lot of other major countries that really want Physique. Now rolling into Nature Smoothie, with Nature Smoothie, we actually were just approved to do a nationwide rollout in September. So basically, all of the Whole Foods across the country will now be carrying our Nature Smoothie, lollipops for kids that, help with, tummy aches and help with sleep and things like that. So that's going to be a massive, massive things with us, is getting that into all of those Whole Foods. So we'll be in Whole Foods, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, and then we're also working on some other large chains for Nature Smoothie as well. Our manufacturing is really coming along with that. We're able to push out more lollipops for the kids, and there's just a lot of things happening with that. Now, on the American Metabolic side, which has always been one of our bigger brands, we've got American Metabolics has still got a massive footprint out there. We just went through a full rebrand on the product, so it looks more basically, the products in the past still looked like they were the past. They looked like they did 8 years ago. We went through a full rebrand. It's been getting the amount of people that just email us and say, oh my gosh, I saw the American Metabolics in the store, it looks phenomenal. It's just been great. We've got new flavorings coming out, things like that. One of the big things for us too is our Storm brand that we built from scratch, our kind of 80s, 90s throwback brand that looks kind of like the Vans and things like that. We actually we're in tons of independent stores with that, but we actually just got approved in Europa. Sports Products just received their first shipment of all the Storm products. So they're going to launch the Storm products into their 10,000 stores that they distribute into. And so we expect a huge partnership with them on Storm and really getting Storm out to the masses. So a lot of great updates in that realm that we are just pushing out there, fighting through all this. There's still massive supply chain issues out there, but we're still pushing through it and still succeeding in everything we're doing.
Now, I understand there's a pitch to Walmart. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely, yeah. So we actually just had our James Gracely, our VP of Beverage, was just down speaking to Walmart last week and had a full pitch with them, not just for Walmart, but for Sam's Club. So we're in talks with them right now about getting the Physique, because one of the things about Physique is that it is different. Nobody has a sparkling protein water. So one of the things that we're working on with them is to go into all the Sam's Clubs and have, the testers there, pouring out drinks for people that walk by to try it, to see that it's not just your typical protein water. It actually tastes like a sparkling water. And so we're in talks with them with that. And then Walmart is very interested in, bringing it into a test market for the Walmart stores. Once we get the pull through there, then it launches nationally. So it's just a big thing that's going on with Physique, and we're really excited about it, which is why the Physique Nutra just made so much more sense for us on that name change.
For the time being, the company's called GenTech Holdings. That's going to change soon. GTEH is a stock symbol. Leonard, great update, big wins. Thanks so much for joining us again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on the show. As always, we really enjoy it, and happy to give those updates.